Well, Allen has been suspended at school today because his teacher told me he's being very racist against specific races. Allen, you want to say anything about that, or?
It wasn't that racist. I mean, come on, people, I'm only speaking the truth.
Yeah, I bet you were, Allen. Well, Allen's gonna share his story with us and see what you guys think.
Alright. For my classes, I picked the two most disturbing races, the Hispanics and the Canadians. Starting off, Hispanics, Canadians, God's Mistakes. Chapter 1, by Senor AllenColberg. Once upon a time, well, if you gave a Mexican or any type of Hispanic a quarter, you would make that Mexican one of the most richest Mexicans in the world. If we went to war with Canada, all they would have is hockey sticks and snowballs. The difference between a Mexican and a Cuban is Mexicans run and hop over the border, but Cubans use rafts. And they have gills like birds, so if they fall into the water, they can swim away. The reasons they have gills is because they're in a dictatorship. The dictator of this dictatorship is Hitler.
No, Allen. The former leader was Fidel Castro. They're picking a new leader now. It was Fidel Castro.
No. Don't try to pull those tricks on me. Because I know Fidel Castro is a singer. I have all of his albums through the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 100s. In the summer, I drive an ice cream truck surveillance vehicle into Canada to sell some little bastard Eskimos some ice cream. And after every goddamn sentence, they say, and that's when I got pissed off. So after a while, of a few summers, I've captured one of the Canadian products, and I've done some research. Whenever a Canadian says they're actually sending delta nuclear waves to Mars, to Sector 7A, and that's when the aliens get these waves and prepare to blow up Earth. Also, when they send these waves, they're causing global warming. And, I mean, why do you think they live so close to the Arctic Circle? I mean, they don't give a shit about the rest of the world. The Mexicans, they always have a mop in their hand, a few oranges and tangerines for a quick $1 out on the streets, a taxi driving license, and some magic bands in their pockets for some good luck. Without these items, they might die. So Canadians have connections with France. The Mexicans, the Cubans, the Puerto Ricans, all those countries down there have connections with Spain. If these two forces join up, we might have a giant box around America, coming from the north, the south, the east, and above. Meaning that the aliens might come and help the Canadians with their global warming tools. For your safety, I've created a list of instructions in case of an attack. Instruction 1. If you live in a northern climate and Canadians are nearby, always have a heating room set to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. If Canadians do attack, try and lure them in and lock them in. Canadians cannot stand the hot weather and will eventually melt in a period of time of 3 to 7 hours. Instruction 18. If a Mexican is charging, you always have a bottle of holy water and bring it out and spray it on the Mexican while chanting the power of Christ compels you. This will eventually burn his skin. If you are not a part of the Roman Catholic Church, you may also use a cross. Knock the Mexican down and hold the cross down on his chest. He will eventually have an exorcist and become an American. Also, he must have a green card. Instruction 24. If a Mexican and a Canadian are charging at you, they might fuse together. I call this a leaf-hopper effect. If this does happen, pull out a picture of Rosie O'Donnell. That will stun the leaf-hopper. During this time, you're going to want to call Border Patrol. That will scare away the Mexican back to Mexico. During this time, it will defuse with the Canadian, leaving it useless and helpless on the ground. After that, you can download a picture of Niagara Falls being dammed up for American use of power. The Canadian will faint. That's when you'll pick up the Canadian, dump him in a river that goes down to Mexico. He will find himself in a desert and eventually melt, like I said before. Tip 272. Never stare a Canadian in the eye. He will do this hypnotizing thing and make you pray to that flag, to that leaf on the flag. And that is the end of my story. And that's when I got kicked out of school. I thought Mr. Chavez would have liked it, but I don't know what this deal was. He just gave me an angry look. And all the kids were staring at me, especially Jorge. He was staring at me like an angry motherfucker. And that's a story by AllenColberg. Thank you for your time.